What's up, everybody? Dice Gaming here, and today we're going to be ranking the quarterbacks of the 2018 NFL draft class. In my opinion, this 2018 NFL draft class is going to be one of the deepest drafts in NFL history. The quarterbacks are insane. There could potentially be 4 or 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round alone. And the number 1 quarterback in this class is going to be Josh Rosen, Jr. from UCLA. He's just the most polished quarterback in the draft. In his career at UCLA, he had 1,170 attempts with a 60.9 completion percentage, 9,340 yards, 8 yards per attempt, 59 touchdowns, 26 interceptions, with 140.1 quarterback rating. And his positives here, he had 4 games with 70 or more completion percentage, and 2 of those were 85 or more completion percentage, and in all those 4 games he had at least 18 attempts or more. And he had 5 games of 3 touchdowns or more with 0 interceptions. He has great footwork and delivery balance. He stays in the pocket. He doesn't scramble when he doesn't need to. He trusts his protection. He stays there no matter what. He doesn't take his eyes off his targets when pressure builds up on the edge. He's willing to stand and deliver when there's pressure in his face. And he did complete 63% of his passes when being blitzed. So he will stand in there strong in the pocket. He is not only, he has great size, 6'4", 226 pounds. He's a little thin, but he does have the height. He can stay in the pocket. He's confident and very intelligent. He's a touch passer, throw lightly when needed. Otherwise, if you need a light pass, he will do that. If you need a hard bullet, he will throw that as well. He's just a great quarterback. His mechanics, throwing motion, are so smooth and amazing. And then his negatives. His negatives are durability. He had a shoulder injury that he needed surgery on his sophomore season, where he missed half the season. And just this last season, his junior year, he had 2 concussions. His decision making and post snap reads are inconsistent. He cannot scramble. He lacks the athleticism that a great quarterback needs, but he does have other attributes that are like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. He does have a poor deep ball completion percentage. Doesn't have the big arm to throw 70-yard, 60-yard passes. He does have questions of leadership, maturity, and coachability. I don't know where there was reports about just him having trouble with the coaches and his team not going around him, but his pro comparison are to the Manning brothers, Peyton and Eli Manning, because he has a similar size to both of them and similar style to both of them, where they can scramble, great pocket passers. So yeah, great size, 6'4", but he is pretty thin. So there are concerns about that. And let's go on to our next one. And the number 2 quarterback in this class is going to be Josh Allen, Jr. from Wyoming. So the top 2 quarterbacks are juniors so far. And Josh Allen, he is a huge quarterback, 6'5", 237 pounds, and he is amazing. I was going to put him number 1, but since Rosen is so consistent and has shown off that he's the most polished quarterback in the class, I had to put Josh Allen number 2. His career, 649 attempts, 56.2 completion percentage, 5,066 yards, 7.8 yards per attempt, 44 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions, with a 137.7 quarterback rating. His positives are he's very athletic. He was 2nd in the 3-cone drill, 1st in the broad jump, 1st in the vertical jump. So for a big guy, he's very athletic. Again, great size, amazing arm strength. There's a video of him going around the internet where he was on his knees and threw the ball 50 yards. Just insanity. So Josh Allen, honestly, I'm predicting him to be one of the next great quarterbacks. He's an excellent thrower of deep routes, can throw accurately and consistently on the run. That's amazing. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks can do that, but not this young. He has arm strength and mobility to create explosive plays. When the play goes wrong, he can extend the play because he's so athletic, has a great arm, has great accuracy. He can stay in the pocket or run when needed. That is perfect. And he does have experience in poor weather games, where Josh Rosen at UCLA does not. He did come off an injury and then he came off an injury to win the bowl game. He threw 11 for 19, 154 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. So Josh Allen, he is number 2, but he could easily be the number 1. And his pro comparison is Brett Favre and Jake Locker. Because of his ability to scramble, make big plays, very risky. And his negatives: he struggled against bigger teams like Iowa and Oregon, because Wyoming is in a pretty bad conference. He never had a completion percentage higher than 56%. Poor decision making, takes too many chances, goes out of pocket without cause once in a while, not very often, and he doesn't keep feet throw ready. So he doesn't have much negatives compared to his positives, which is good. So he could either turn out to be a Brett Favre, and Brett Favre did make a lot of mistakes. So Brett Favre and Jake Locker, perfect comparisons for him. Let's go on to number 3. Number 3, we have Baker Mayfield, senior quarterback from Oklahoma, 6'1", 215 pounds. People say he's undersized, but yeah, he is quite small. But it's kind of normal. 6'1", 215. On his career, he had 1,497 attempts, 68.5 completion percentage, 14,607 yards, 9.8 yards per attempt, with 131 touchdowns and 30 interceptions, with 175.4 quarterback rating. Then his rushing, he had 1,083 yards and 21 touchdowns, and then he had 1 reception for 2 yards and a touchdown. So great college career for him. He was the 2015 Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, 2017 Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, 2017 Davey O'Brien, 2017 Heisman winner, 2017 Maxwell Award, 2017 Walter Camp Player of the Year, and a one-time All-American. One of the most decorated college athletes, Baker Mayfield. I love this guy. He's tough, competitive, great leader, big arm for a small guy, very athletic, mobile. He can extend plays with his legs, very accurate. He can throw anywhere. On all 3 levels, he's very accurate and consistent. He has elite production and efficiency in the red zone. And then he has a crazy 67% completion percentage while on the move. You do not see quarterbacks that accurate on the move. Just insane. And he's also light on his feet. So Baker Mayfield at number 3. And his negatives are: desire to make big plays will lead to sacks. He's too cocky, bad attitude, thrown off rhythms by delayed blitz packages and disguised coverages. Spread QBs don't often translate well to the NFL, which is a down. And his pro comparisons are Doug Flutie and Johnny Manziel. And him and Johnny Manziel are very similar. I don't think Baker Mayfield is quite the party type that Johnny Manziel was, but they both had bad attitudes, and they both were 2 of the best quarterbacks in college football. So just crazy similarities between him and Johnny Manziel. Baker Mayfield, very talented. And I forgot to do the talent-wise. Josh Rosen, easily top 5 pick worthy. Josh Allen, top 5 pick talent. And Baker Mayfield, a top 5 pick talent. And let's go to Sam Darnold, who I have as the 4th quarterback in this class. A lot of people seem to have him going number 1 to the Browns. I don't even think he's the best quarterback in the class. He's number 4 on my list. Sophomore from USC, great size, 6'4", 220 pounds. And then his career, 846 attempts, 64.9 completion percentage, 7,229 yards, 8.5 yards per attempt, 57 touchdowns, 22 interceptions, with 153.7 quarterback rating. And he had 332 yards and 7 touchdowns rushing. His positives are: he trusts his pocket, good leadership, great size. Blitz has no effect on him since it's so big. great accuracy, can sense and avoid pressure good, and can read defenses. That is huge, and especially for how young he is. But his negatives are he does lack experience, bad ball security. He fumbled it a lot this past season, threw too many interceptions for my liking. I feel like he should have stayed another year and he could have been the #1 pick. But I feel like Sam Darnold could be the best quarterback in this class if he gets drafted behind a team that has a good quarterback that can groom him and he can sit a year. Otherwise, if they start him right away, I feel like he will do horribly. Well, not horribly, but he won't do as good as everyone says. I feel like he needs that year of grooming, and then he will become the next big thing. He got worse his sophomore year, which is huge. His freshman year, he looked amazing. He probably could have went to the NFL from there. But he played in his sophomore year and did not impress me. He actually dropped on my board. He went from the #1 down to the #4 QB because of it's because he had a bad year. He's inconsistent, and he plays bad against good teams or other NFL-ready QBs. His game against Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold played poorly. They still got to win against UCLA. Josh Rosen played amazing. Josh Rosen proved to me he was the #1 quarterback when he beat Sam Darnold and just went off. And Sam Darnold's pro comparisons are Andrew Luck and Tony Romo. Again, Sam Darnold, top 5 pick talent. And at number 5, we have Lamar Jackson, quarterback from Louisville, 6'3", 211 pounds. And just crazy stats. 9,043 yards, 69 touchdowns, 27 interceptions, 142.9 quarterback rating, 4,132 yards, and 50 rushing touchdowns. I mean, this guy was insane. He's a one-time All-American, won the 2016 Heisman Award, 2016 ACC Offensive Player of the Year, 2016 ACC Player of the Year, 2017 ACC Offensive Player of the Year, 2017 ACC Player of the Year, 2016 Maxwell Award, and the 2016 Walter Kempt Player of the Year. Just a great quarterback. He is a little thin, which concerns me, but his positives are he's an elite playmaker, can extend plays with his legs. He's the best scrambling QB, and he's willing to get sacked rather than make a bad throw. And he always needs a spy, so that takes one defender away from coverage. He makes the corners choose between letting him run or coming up for run support that leaves the receiver open, and he's extremely productive in the red zone. More elusive than most running backs. That is how good Lamar Jackson is. He is just insane. I have him as number 6 because his throwing concerns me as a quarterback. I feel like he could be a running back and receiver, but his quarterback skills, I really don't think he'll become one of the best, but he will be really good. He's thin. He must learn to slide, then take hits. Since he's so thin, and him not sliding really will ruin his career, taking those hits from bigger guys like that. And he makes his receivers work too hard. He has a low release point, and he's underthrown deep balls so many times, and poor accuracy. Just really inconsistent. If the guy's not open, he really won't make that throw. And his pro comparison is he can be Michael Vick or it can be Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow isn't that bad. I'm going to be making a video on him. So his pro comparisons are Michael Vick and Tim Tebow. And number 6, we have Mason Rudolph, quarterback from Oklahoma State. I love this guy. If there wasn't so many good quarterbacks in this class, he'd be number 1. But he's a senior from Oklahoma State. 6'5", 230 pounds. Great size. Huge guy. He has a 63.2% completion percentage his career. 13,618 yards, 9.4 yards per attempt, 92 touchdowns, and 26 interceptions, with 159.7 quarterback rating, and 17 rushing touchdowns. His yards and average ain't good, but that's because they also count sacks in that, in his rushing, and that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, but just great quarterback. He won the 2017 Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award and the 2017 Sammy Baugh Trophy. His positives: he has great size, stands tall in the pocket, He lets routes develop, has steadily improved each season. 10% of his dropbacks turned into 25-plus yard completions, puts a lot of air under his deep throws. He reads safeties well, and he's willing to drop his head and move the chains or score. His negatives are ball placement, decision making, go down when forced to scramble. Doesn't rule out. He did have two great receivers who can potentially be first-round picks this year. His ball security was an issue, and he overstrides at times. His pro comparison is Ben Roethlisberger. Then number 8, we have Riley Ferguson, senior out of Memphis. Very accurate passer. His dropbacks are quick and set up in pocket are crisp. 40% of his passes were beyond 10 yards. Played great with coaching change, which can be a great transition to the NFL with the coaching change thing. Back at Memphis, he had a good touchdown to interception ratio, good accuracy, will scan all 3 levels for the best target option, and he can escape pressure and has a huge arm, or a strong arm, I mean. His negatives is he's too nonchalant with short throws. Not good at throwing crossing routes. It makes the receiver has to slow down or reach behind them. Pro comparison, Brandon Doughty. Then at number 8, we have Luke Falk, senior from Washington State. 68.3 completion percentage on 2,054 attempts in his career. 14,000 yards, 119 touchdowns, 39 interceptions. His positives are he's a tall QB who stands in the pocket, quick setup in the pocket, quick compact release. He can buy time in the pocket. One of the most accurate passers in college football. Strong arm, or in the draft class I mean. Accurate fades and back shoulder throws. He's amazing and has a lot of experience in the West Coast offense. He played all 4 years of his college career in the West Coast offense. So if there's a team that's looking to draft Luke Falk that have a West Coast offense, you need to draft him. I'm not saying he has to start right away, but if you have a West Coast offense, you need to draft this guy. But his negatives are he's too willing to make bad throws, he waits too long at times, he can lead receivers into defenders, slow to see blitzers and hot routes, poor mobility, and a majority of his interceptions came against zone. He only had 39 career interceptions compared to his 119 touchdowns, but most of those interceptions came against zone defense, and that is very concerning. A lot of teams play zone. His pro conversion are Tom Brady and Mike Glennon. Then at number 9, we have J.T. Barrett, quarterback from Ohio State, who was a senior, 6'2", 220 pounds. Just a great, all-around great player. He had 9,434 yards on a 63.5% completion percentage, 104 touchdowns, 30 interceptions in passing. Then he had 3,000 yards and 43 touchdowns rushing. He was a team captain for Ohio State 3 times. That is the most times anybody has been a team captain for an Ohio State football team in school history. Outstanding leader. He handled the quarterback controversy in rotation between Braxton Miller, Cardale Jones, and himself with a lot of maturity. He could have transferred to different schools where he would have known he was starting, but he stayed at Ohio State, which is just amazing. He's a good decision maker in zone read, great scrambler, good pocket mobility, can elude pressure, willing to stand in and take the hit to deliver the throw, fights through sacks. He's very tough, recognizes when corners are trying to bait him, and a great pocket passer. So not only is he a really good scrambling quarterback, he can also throw from the pocket. But his negatives are he does make his receivers work too hard, and he gets it out a step late on medium and deep throws, inconsistent ball placement, and he stops progressions early rather than let the routes develop. His pro comparisons are Steve McNair and Donovan McNabb. Then at number 10, we have Logan Woodside, senior from Toledo, 65.1 completion percentage, with 10,500 yards, 93 touchdowns, and 25 interceptions, with 162.9 quarterback rating. He won the 2017 MAC Offensive Player of the Year. He's very accurate on all 3 levels. Good ball placement to pick apart man coverage. Good coverage recognition. He gives receivers the chance to make plays, great pocket awareness and mobility. And his negatives are he has below arm strength to make all the throws. He struggled in the postseason by throwing 3 interceptions in the bowl game, and he has played against weak competition since he played in the MAC conference. Those are huge concerns for Logan Woodside. Then at number 11, we have Quinton Flowers, senior from South Florida. He played amazing. He was the 2016 American Conference Offensive Player of the Year. He's a very talented runner, makes good decisions on zone read, plays with composure and patience, extends plays, an elite scrambler, 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and a stocky build. His negatives are, though, he's inaccurate at times, late to find optimal passing option, and bad ball placement and timing. His pro comparison are Tim Tebow and Steve Young. Number 12, we have senior out of Western Kentucky, Mike White. He has a huge arm. He was a high school baseball pitcher who threw 90 miles per hour. He can pass into tight windows, throws accurate on all 3 levels, can alternate between heat and touch, and he can be dangerous from the pocket when protected. His negatives are he struggled to deal with poor protection all season. He lacks to feel the pressure off the edges, poor pocket mobility, stayed on covered targets rather than looking for better option, relies too heavily on arm over anticipation, and his pro comparison is Zach Mettenberger. Number 13, we have Chase Litton, junior out of Marshall. He has great size and build at 6'6", 232 pounds. He stands tall in the pocket. Smooth, accurate passer. Good release time. Feathers the ball over top of trail defenders. And his negatives are his poor mobility. His decision making is quite bad. Doesn't have that much interceptions, but when he did throw interceptions, they were bad. Like, they were right to the defender. And he does stare down his targets quite a bit. His pro comparison is Paxton Lynch. Number 14, we have John Wolford, senior from Wake Forest. He throws on the run really well. He had an amazing senior year, can run good, and good ball placement, and a great playmaker. But his negatives are he can't complete the deep ball enough, struggled the 3 years prior to his senior year, and he can't sell on play action. He uses his whole body on play action. He doesn't, I don't know, he's just terrible at it. He uses his whole body instead of just reaching out his hands. He stares his target down. His pro comparison is Mark Brunell. At number 15, we have Nick Shimonek, senior from Texas Tech. He has good size. He can get rid of the ball from all arm angles. He's willing to go through 3 to 4 reads when given the time. He searches for big play opportunities when scrambling. But his negatives are he struggled to play consistent in fourth quarters, with completion percentage and touchdown interception ratio dropping really bad. His release is quite slow. He stares at deep targets, giving the safeties the jump. And his pro comparison is Alex Smith. And now let's look at the guys who are going to go undrafted, because there's just so many quarterbacks. And I'm going to go from the best to the worst. In number 1, we have Brandon Silvers from Troy, senior quarterback. He had a great career at Troy. I feel like it was a toss-up at number 15 between him, Alex McGough from Florida International, and Nick Shimonek. But at number one quarterback is going to go undrafted, who will probably make a team. It's going to be Brandon Silvers. Number 2, Alex McGough from Florida International. Number 3, Nick Stevens from Colorado State. Number 4, Kyle Kempt from Iowa State. Number 5, Kurt Benkert from Virginia, senior quarterback. Number 6 was Kenny Hill, a senior from TCU. Number 7, Danny Etling, a senior from LSU. Number 8, Kyle Walletta from Richmond, who was a senior. Then at 9, Austin Allen, senior from Arkansas. Number 10, Tyler Rogers, a senior from New Mexico State. 11 was Shane Morris from Central Michigan. 12, Jesse Ertz, senior from Kansas State. Number 13, Tanner Lee, junior from Nebraska. 14, Kyle Allen, junior from Houston. 15, Richard Legault, senior from Indiana. 16, Anu Solomon, senior from Baylor. Number 17, Thomas Sirk, senior from East Carolina. And number 18, Max Brown, a senior from Pitt. And those last 18 quarterbacks I just named off, in order from number 1 to 18, was the best to the worst of the quarterbacks. They're going to be undrafted. And most of those guys that were 10 to 18 should have either stayed in college one more year, or they're just not going to make the NFL at all. Otherwise, 1 through 9 are most likely going to make an NFL roster. I just hope that they will, because they are too talented not to. At least Kyle Kempt, Kurt Benkert, and Brandon Silvers are. Nick Stevens was pretty good too. And that is it for the quarterback class I have for the 2018 NFL Draft. This quarterback class was insane, and then my next video will be the running backs, the 2018 NFL Draft. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more content and leave a like.